Hey there everybody, this is Niall from VideoGameChooChoo.com. You're about to listen to episode 90 of the podcast, which features Fulbright's Steve Gaynor. Now, unfortunately, when we were recording it, John had some audio problems. We didn't want to throw the episode out, so I asked John to fix his audio problems in post by re-recording his track. Now, I was expecting John to re-record the first 20 minutes or so where he had issues from scratch, and that we would just put it in and it would be like nothing ever happened. Unfortunately, what John instead decided to do was just dub in the little bits that were, I guess, lost in the recording. It's very, very noticeable. It's actually kind of funny, but we really didn't want to throw out this episode. It's only for, 20, 25 minutes. I think it's funny. I hope you think it's funny. Don't be afraid to laugh at John for this. In fact, I encourage you to tweet at John Machansky and tell him he's an idiot. So yeah, after that 20 minutes, everything should be fine. And thank you so much for putting up with us. We know we've been kind of slow getting these out lately. We've had some issues, technical issues, and hopefully that's the end of them. Fingers crossed. So yeah, you're about to hear Steve Gaynor, and we hope you enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome to episode 90 of the Video Game Choo Choo podcast. Really excited. We're only 10 away from 100.
I'm your host.
Once again, John Machansky. And we are on week
2 of guest month.
So, with me are my co-hosts, Lauren and Michael.
Hello.
But, for our guest, we have Steve Gaynor from Fulbright.
Hey there. How's it going?
Doing fine. Steve,
thank you very much
for being on the show. We're big fans.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. Yeah, we are the proud recipients of Video Games Choo Choo Game of the Year 2013. So thank you very much for that honor. I'm glad I can be here to chat on the show.
It wasn't a very hard decision.
Of course. It was.
We went a little back and forth
because we were.
It was a good year. There was a lot of stuff. There was good stuff.
Exactly.
It was not a good year to be trying to win awards when The Last of Us also.
Exactly. I mean, and I was gunning for Revengeance, but old
Mike Casamano
was not hearing it, and I was like, you know what? We all love Gone Home. That's a good pick. We all love it, and we went for it. And
looking back,
I think Gone Home was the good because it resonates even today. So.
It's the goatee everyone
Yeah.
It brought
those are
people
rare.
together.
These are rare in those
That's
sites.
what's important.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So, Steve, how you doing?
We know that Fulbright is
plucking away at Tacoma.
Yeah, no, stuff's going well. We've had a busy couple months now. I was thinking few months, but I'm like, no. We were at E3 in the middle of June, and it's just now the middle of August. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we've had crazy stuff going on between the E3 stage and Game Informer, and then we just took the game to Gamescom and also brought it down to San Francisco at the same time to show to some more press. And now we can mostly get back to just kind of making the game as opposed to doing a bunch of crazy travel and stuff. So it's a good time right now.
Yeah. I've always just heard stories about how just uprooting the game and
taking it around and interrupting the employees is
almost as hard as it actually, or if not even more so as hard as just working them. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, obviously you have to actually go and do the travel and talk to people, and that can be exhausting. But the bigger thing is that you can't just kind of like grab whatever build of the game is on your computer and take it down to it's like you spend a lot of time before that kind of thing being like, okay, we got to get the demo together, make sure it doesn't break, make sure all the stuff is like polished up and blah blah blah. So it's prep, and then it's like,
of course,
talking to people for 8 hours a day for a few days. So it all adds up.
Like, what actually goes into making like a stage build?
Well, for something like the Microsoft E3 stage, we needed to make a trailer that was showing up on the big screen, and so that's like, especially for a game that's still in development, and especially a game like ours where it's sort of like it's hard to show like big, flashy, exciting things on screen. There's just a lot of planning of like, okay, this area looks pretty nice, and we can kind of polish it up, and then if we make sure that like the cleaner bot is floating through it at the same time, and then you have to like, so you kind of like plan the whole thing, and then you have to set up all the scenes, and then actually capturing stuff so that it looks right, and you get a good camera path, and everything is timed right, and like the frame rate is good, and blah blah blah. It's just like, someone said like to me at one point, when you look at a trailer, every second of a trailer that you see on screen is like an hour of work. And that's probably true, so we did like a 60-second trailer. It's like, yep, that's like, that kills a lot of your productivity for like a couple or few weeks there. But that was good. And then for something like a playable demo, like we had Game Informer play, or like we just brought around to play, for us anyway, it's like we always start at the beginning of the game, because that's, you build the beginning of the game to introduce the player to like the mechanics of the world and stuff. So I always think just like, let's just start the demo there. That's the whole point. And it's just like, even if all the content isn't on screen that there's going to be eventually, or even if it's not as polished as it's going to be, or it's not complete, it's not like it's what we're going to ship, it still needs to feel like you're playing something that feels finished, and like you're just playing like a real game. Even if it's just a small piece of it, even if it's not like totally finished. So just putting in all of the work to be like, okay, if I just sat down and played this, would I like get it, and would I get a good impression of it, and would I understand what's supposed to be going on, and so forth. It becomes your focus for a while before people go hands-on. But the good thing is then, hopefully, that part of the game that you've built is in a pretty good state, and you can just continue maintaining it and polishing and developing it. And it's not throwaway work, which sometimes like big scripted demos that are all faked, it is like a lot of throwaway work that's just for the promotional event. But we always try to say like, we're actually going to build part of the actual game and let people play it, and that's going to be our intent, and it's worked out for us pretty well up to this point.
So like, don't do the Halo 2 trailer.
I mean, it's hard because, when you're doing like a big AAA game that's supposed to look so expensive and so impressive, it's not in an awesome state to show early on. And so if you want to do all the characters and all the sound and all the effects and all the combat mechanics and stuff, it's like you either can't show it early or you kind of have to fake it, but we're in a place where with the smaller kind of more focused games that we make, we luckily don't really have to do as much faking for the game to come across,
Yeah. Well, also, I feel like games like Gone Home and Tacoma, by virtue of being less flashy, make it kind of... You don't have to like have lovingly rendered explosions on the screen to sell Tacoma. You know what I mean? Yeah,
but you also, but there is a certain like visual polish level that you need to hit because if we were just developing the game, with and never showing it to anybody until it actually came out, there would be no reason for like the environments and the lighting in the areas that we demoed to look as good now as they do. But that's also a really nice motivation to say like, okay, let's like get some stuff to close to like a finished level of completion, so we can learn a bunch of stuff about how we're going to do that when we are trying to ship the thing. It's pretty useful actually, if you do it right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have some questions from our fans as well as some that we came up with ourselves. So
what do you call video? What do you do? Are they passengers on the video game choo-choo? Are they your...
That's a really good idea.
Man, that's a really good idea that we're going to steal.
On the media train?
I always just said chooch fans, but I guess passengers works,
Oh my god.
No. I like Chooch fans. Let's just keep that. That's good.
All right, then we have the official approval of the people in the industry, so I guess we got to go with it. All right, so let's get going from our first Chooch fan question. These are from Tumblr. Let me remind all of you that if you want to send in questions to Chooch, you have two options. You can send them into our Tumblr, which is videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com/ask, or our email, which is podcast@videogamechoochoo. First question is from Tumblr user Kenpachi Ramasama, who asks, "Hey Steve, I've recently come to realize that most authors use whatever tools they're most comfortable with, ranging from plain old pen and paper to DOS programs they've used since their earliest writings. With that in mind, what's your favorite platform to write your stories?"
Yeah, I actually do all of my writing and planning generally longhand. So I mean, I have notebooks that I write stuff out in, and because a lot of times like the design stuff, like figuring out design stuff and figuring out level layouts and where things are going to go, really goes hand in hand with the writing of dialogue and story points and stuff like that. So yeah, I tend to work on paper in notebooks until I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, I'm confident enough in this that I can like put it into the game, like digitize it, and then a lot of times you continue to tweak things that way once it's been put into a computer. But yeah, I find that staying analog for as long as you can until you really have a good idea what you want to run with works the best for me.
Okay. Our next question we have here is from Tumblr user Dapper's Den. They ask, was the choice of the 90s as a setting in Gone Home based on your own childhood, or was it more based on the story you wanted to tell? What came first, the setting or the story?
The setting definitely came before the story. And it wasn't really... I mean, I graduated high school in the year 2000, so Sam is actually a little bit older than me. But I was a 90s teen. And so, and so were, other people on the game were as well. So it was kind of a natural fit for us as far as that goes. But it really started from saying, we know what kind of game we want to make. We know we want to make this game where you explore a house and find all of these bits and pieces of the story scattered around, like in drawers and in cabinets and on notepads and stuff. And so that wouldn't make sense to do in just a normal family's house in the present. It would all be emails and text messages and everything. So really we just wanted to, yeah. We were like, we want to rewind the clock far enough that this family might not have AOL in their house, that they would actually have to have answering machines and leave each other messages on Post-it notes and stuff like that. And so then, yeah,
I imagine you'd also with all of the dad's mail,
right?
That you read through in the game. If you did that today, it would just all be
exactly anything mom writing the employee evaluation for Rick. It'd be that would just be a web form.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have any evidence of that. So all that stuff, a letter or a disciplinary letter coming back from the principal or anything, it couldn't be, we didn't want to be here's a Facebook message between mom and her old friend,
yeah.
So, and so, yeah, the story really did kind of arise from that. Cause we're if the year is 1994 or 1995, who are the characters and what's happening to them and what's the conflict? And it really did, start as an answer to those kinds of questions, as opposed to here's the story we want to tell, now let's make a game about it.
And they also threw in one more question: is space super rad or super terrifying?
What's the difference?
Yeah, do you have to choose? I mean, what do you guys think? Do you feel like
super rad?
It's
space.
Okay, we're going super rad.
I'm just gonna say that the only thing you ever needed to sell me on Tacoma was the doors come open and there's all this just shit floating in microgravity, and I'm just oh, okay. I guess I'm buying this game.
No, yeah, we found that because from the beginning, I kind of wondered, like, I mean, that was one of the reasons we wanted to do what we're doing with Tacoma. I was like, what does it mean for Gone Home or a game like Gone Home to take place in zero gravity? And it turns out that having all the objects just kind of floating around everywhere is really fun. So it's cool.
It's so much fun. Oh my god.
You can throw stuff and it just bounces around. It's enjoyable.
The next era of picking up objects and twirling them around is making it just fly off into the cosmos.
Well, it's like one of the things that like I really loved about Gone Home, but also that was incredibly frustrating was like whenever I picked something up, I always had to put it back like perfectly.
Yeah.
And like sometimes you're like, oh, I need this for some stupid reason. I don't even remember what it was. And you carry it to the next room, and then you take it back, and you're like, oh my god, where does this go? And you can't find the spot it slides into. And I'm like, oh no.
You would hate my You would hate my home and Gone Home. It's just everything's scattered.
Leave all the lights on.
Yep.
Waste the energy bill. That's the good stuff.
It was scary. Turn all the lights on.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, in Tacoma, we don't have a putback mechanic at all. You just release something and it goes bouncing all over the place. So
That's really good.
You are a horrible person.
I'll admit, when I played Gone Home, man, I'm sure a lot of people have said this, but I was one of those people that thought there was going to be some sort of horror element at the end. And I'm a big baby when it comes to that stuff, so I was like, man, I'm really enjoying this game, but I don't want like a ghost to pop out, man. I just want to find out what happens. I want this love to come true. I don't want there to be a ghost, and it's all good.
yeah,
But
I'm glad that we ended up going with the no ghost option. Personally,
Yeah. I think it really helps like sell the 90s angle.
Mhm.
Cuz like you don't really like okay, so I did like high school like in the mid 2000s, right?
Sure.
And we had a few kids at my high school who kind of did the ooh ghosts are real, ooh orange and light stuff.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they never did stuff with like Ouija boards.
Okay.
Or like they never got like soft cover like books. It was always like, look at this like reflection in this YouTube video in the mirror. And I'm like, it's not the same. You know what I mean? It's like it's not.
It's not as hands-on. It's all about the evidence.
Yeah.
Like, all these kids are the children of parents who watched the X-Files when they were, when that was new, and then it rubbed off on them a little bit, probably.
Yeah.
But
I mean, do you know what really like tells me how like that tells me that Gone Home succeeded like in the story it was trying to tell?
Mm-mm.
Is you can still go on to the Steam forums to this day and find people like, where's the ghost? There's gotta be a ghost. Oh my god. The family like died on their trip and Sam was running away to commit suicide over Lonnie, and I'm like, oh my god.
See, the thing is that
Like, you can find people to this day.
I'm just imagining the Fulbright team standing with a whiteboard, and there's just ghost, no ghost, and they finally just circle no ghost, and you're all like, all right, that's what we're gonna have to do.
I don't know, Steve. You got to set the record straight here. Like, how'd you decide like to have a ghost or not have a ghost?
Well, we were like, you know what? Let's just save the ghost for the next game. Wanna?
Ghosts in Tacoma confirmed.
You heard it here, guys.
Now here's the next question: is it a human ghost or is it an alien ghost?
You think I'm not gonna give away 6 spoilers like that.
Are you confirming that Space Ghost Coast to Coast is in Tacoma?
Am I confirming that Tacoma takes place in the Space Ghost Coast to Coast canon?
Yes.
Maybe. Yes. I will not confirm nor deny that.
Damn it.
So I'm so excited for this.
Yeah, it looks great.
So let's do these last couple of questions we came up with, and then I guess we can let you on your way, Steve, so we can talk about all the dumb news that happened this week.
Video games?
They happened?
What's a video game?
Still not sure.
Is it like a tabletop?
But with
It's like a
screen.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't make any sense, right? Like movies just happen. You can't change what happens in a movie.
But what if it was a game?
Everything changes. Everything changes.
That's the second Buana of the Buana. What if?
We're doing good. That means we're doing a good show this week.
Yeah.
So, next question from actually Chooch. This one, I think Devin might have written these. With this new age of adventure games, do you see people going back to the older forms of the adventure genre, or are we blazing new trails?
That's a really interesting question. I hadn't really thought of that because, I feel like there were, classic point-and-click adventure games in the 80s and 90s, and they really kind of went dormant in the 2000s, like the early 2000s. And there's been a bit of a resurgence, just like mostly through like Kickstarter projects, weren't you a fan of Tim Schafer's point and click adventure games? What if he made another one of those, and now there's Broken Age, or there's like some kind of, I think, somewhat less prominent Kickstarter point and click adventure games. I mean, there's the new game that's being developed by Ron Gilbert, and it seems like a Maniac Mansion throwback that's like super, like old school. But I think that what's interesting is kind of what you point out about that adventure games in a lot of ways have come back, but through kind of like you were saying, or like the reader was saying, it's an interesting evolution, because I feel like Telltale, for instance, started when it was formed in the early, mid 2000s. It started as like a very classic point and click adventure game studio. It was like, we're gonna make a game of Bone, and then we're gonna pick up Sam and Max and really make it like an old school point and click adventure game, but with in 3D. But then when they did the first season of The Walking Dead, it really took a lot of the core concepts that were outside of the form and made them into something that felt new. And that's been a huge influence on the industry in general. And you see, like games like Life is Strange is just like super, it was very much like, let's make a Telltale game, but
you can see what happened there.
Yeah, and then something like Gone Home, and I don't know, things like Vanishing of Ethan Carter, and Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, and other games in that genre. It's sort of like a different branch off of the idea of adventure games, but none of them are just like point and click, drive your character around, you have an inventory, you solve puzzles kind of games. And it'll be interesting to see if that means that adventure games have just permanently turned into something else by and large, or if there will be like this separate revival of the very kind of classic idea of what an adventure game is. I'm not sure, but it's interesting to see this new form. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was at MagFest the other day, and they had like some indie companies like trying to show adventures games they were making.
Yeah.
Like point and click, like classic stuff, like Monkey Island kind of stuff.
Yeah, I feel like it was a subgenre that really kept existing the whole time in Europe, especially.
You had like Machinarium.
Yeah, right, exactly. And like Machinarium is created by, I think, people from, I forget if it's Germany or like Northern Europe, somewhere else. But there's been a lot of like, French and German and Spanish point and clicks over those years. But then I think kind of in the meantime, there's this separate evolutionary path that was growing up, and it's been really interesting to see.
All right.
Okay.
Very interesting. Let's see your next question.
Oh, I'm sorry. There was also something you kind of mentioned as like Gone Home falling into the adventure game lineage. There, do you see it that way? I mean,
I guess I would say, some of my biggest influences personally are really in parallel are like classic LucasArts adventure games like Maniac Mansion and Day of the Tentacle and Full Throttle.
oh, so good.
And then also immersive sims like Thief and System Shock and Deus Ex, and those are the BioShock series that I worked on. And so I think in a lot of ways the design sense and the form of the game and a lot of the impulse behind how the games are built and what the player's role is very much come out of the like Looking Glass school of immersive first person games, but
okay,
in a way it similarly has a lot of the, I don't know, like the ethos, like the drive of what an adventure game is, which is like be in a place and find a story and get to know these characters. And it's not about like stats and RPG mechanics and, like stealthing past enemies and all that kind of stuff. So in a lot of ways, it's like the Looking Glass kind of immersive sim design style is the means, but it's kind of to the end of an adventure game in a lot of ways.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a totally not loaded question?
It has to be totally not loaded, but if so,
Totally
yes.
not loaded.
Yeah.
Do you like Dear Esther?
Well, I mean, is it? Well, okay. So is that
full disclosure? I'm one of the 6 people who do like Dear Esther, so I'm cool either way. I'm just like, I always saw things like Stanley Parable and Gone Home as being kind of like influenced by Dear Esther, although that might be just like the way my head like organizes stuff talking.
No, it was definitely an influence on us. In a lot of ways, it was an influence more in like our motivation to like Dear Esther was one of those games that made us feel like we could make a game like Gone Home and that there would be an audience for it. And I think Dear Esther was one of the first really notable examples of that,
I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved it when it was a mod.
Right. Yeah. I think I played it when it was, I played it as a judge in the IGF, 6 or 9 months or whatever before the retail version came out.
Okay.
Like we kind of started making.
It didn't change that much.
No, yeah, it didn't change a whole lot. But I think we started making Gone Home like not long after Dear Esther came out, and there were other games like Proteus and like 30 Flights of Loving and even like Amnesia, The Dark Descent, which obviously was a horror game, but also it was like a non-combat, first-person horror adventure game. And so all of those games really made us think like there's something going on here, and these kinds of games are gaining an audience and people are interested in them and talking about them. And I've had these ideas for something that's a lot like this for a while. And so if we take what we know about making games and we have kind of the drive to apply it to something like this, then maybe games like Dear Esther already being out there and already, having fans and having a lot of discussion going on around them mean that there's a place for a game like what we want to make. So yeah, Dear Esther was definitely a big influence and a big kind of motivator for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Michael? Ha!
What?
You said no one likes Dear Esther.
I've never played Dear Esther. I think you're thinking of Mike Cosimono.
Oh, I might be thinking of Mike Cosimono. I mix you
That's
guys
fucked
up. Full disclosure.
We're the same.
Yeah, you're the same person. You just inherited
fucked
this.
up.
Yeah,
Don't
I'm
say
pretty
that.
sure we absorbed the same body. So.
Okay, actually, so Steve, that actually kind of brings me to the question I
Oh
wanted
god,
to
another this question. Oof.
No, well, I can make this question
I know,
respectful.
but let me just say, Lauren ran this by me because she was worried that this was going to be something that would end our professional relationship with Fulbright forever. I'm
No.
kidding.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
Oh my
No,
God.
it's fine. I believe in you, Lauren.
So I guess so I write words about games, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times you need words or phrases that don't really exist yet. And so like this genre that was kind of spawned by Dear Esther and continued by like you guys, I mean, a lot of people call them walking simulators, right? But I feel like that's kind of gotten caught up a bit
Yeah.
in certain, like it feels almost insulting, like to call something a walking simulator these days because of how certain people have used
if I remember correctly, it started out like as in like I don't know if it was like a jokey thing at first, but it's definitely been an insult kind of thing for a while.
Yeah. And I definitely don't want to insult these games. I love them, but like at the same time, what do you think we should call them?
I mean, that's the problem, right? Is that I don't really feel like there's a better word for, like, I don't think there's a better term for them at this point. And I think that, you know, like any genre, something like Walking Simulator is maybe like the closest that we have to an actual good, like, you know, genre name or whatever, because it focuses on like the only thing that really is common between them. I think that's something that makes it hard, is that aside from the fact that you're a character that walks around and looks at things and does things, there's so much, there's more that's different between any two of these games in a lot of ways than is the same. And, you know, I think that's why, you know, something like a first-person shooter is the genre name that it is, because it's like, okay, these games take place in the first person and you shoot things. Okay, that's a commonality between all of them. And I feel like there's fewer commonalities between, us and the Stanley Parable and Dear Esther than there is between, you know, Quake and Doom and Unreal.
I mean, just thinking like first-person shooter, like breaking it down to its elements, I would say like a first-person explorer or something like that.
Yeah, maybe something like that.
Right, and
but then you get things like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's fine.
But then you get things like Amnesia, right? And that's not, I guess Amnesia is kind of about exploring, but not really.
Yeah, that's really more of like a first-person horror game, and like Stanley Parable isn't really about explore. I mean, it's about exploring. It's more about like exploring a conceptual space. It's like choosing paths, but it's not like exploring in the way you would probably think that it was. You know, so it's like it's such a.
I'm okay with.
Yeah, no, I mean, but the thing is, it's broad. Like any other description is broad in a way that makes it less clear what it's referring to. You know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's weird. But you know, if walking sim is the closest that we get to knowing what you're talking about when you when you try to talk about one of these things, then like so be it.
I don't want to just say games like Dear Esther.
Right.
I mean, I guess we could call them like Esther-likes,
right?
In the vein of
Yeah,
roguelike.
could do that. No, that's true. Like roguelike is a reference to a very specific game, and that's interesting. I remember for a long time the phrase first person shooter didn't exist. And every first-person shooter was called a Doom clone. I remember when Doom clones was like the phrase you used to refer to an FPS, you know. And it was like it took games like Half-Life or whatever to be like, okay, well that's not a Doom clone, you know. Like Halo isn't a Doom clone. It's doing something else. It's still in first person. You're still shooting stuff. So you know, maybe it just takes time, or maybe a more clearly defined mechanical genre grows up out of this, or maybe I don't know, but you know, I think you could, in a lot of ways. I mean, interestingly, kind of from that Chooch fans question before, you know, you could call it like maybe the terminology evolves enough that you could just call them first-person adventure games.
Sure.
And it's like, oh, okay, because an adventure game is no longer a third-person 2D point-and-click thing, you know? But I don't know. It just really depends on kind of how the language evolves more than what any one person wants something to be called, I think.
All right, so let's do these last two questions that I got here. These aren't too hard. Any prospects for VR or AR in these types of games? Can the first-person perspective add to the exploration of games like Gone Home or Tacoma?
I think that, I mean, speaking of, speaking of genres and kind of what they're constrained by, I feel like part of what people are discovering is what VR is really good for, and what kinds of experiences can be built for VR specifically. And I think that when you just try to cram an existing genre like, a first-person exploration game into VR, it doesn't necessarily enhance either aspect. Like, I don't think people are finding that actually, like, walking around and driving a character around in an environment is actually very enjoyable in VR. It's like, it's disorienting and you're controlling your head versus your body. Like, I think what people are finding...
It causes motion simulators.
Right, yeah. Among other things, yeah. And so I think, people are finding like, oh, what actually works really well is to simulate someone, sitting in a cockpit and looking around and controlling things, or sitting in a chair, or sitting on a moving... like a stationary player with interesting ability to like see the world in an immersive way and look around and interact with things is maybe like what VR is really good at. And so I personally think that the challenge then becomes, okay, how do we make great experiences that are built specifically for that platform, instead of saying, what if you could just put on your Oculus and now you're walking around in the Gone Home house? And is that actually a good thing for the player or not?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would, I'm not a big VR booster. It's not like what I'm personally excited about. Just whatever. Just as a player, as an individual, I'm not like, oh yeah, VR. But if I was, I would be much more interested in saying, what's an amazing experience that's crafted for having a VR helmet on, as opposed to like, what if we could, make Doom really good in in VR or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like the VR horror games.
Yeah.
Like, I hear those are really good.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like something weirdly. To me, it seems like, I don't know, Five Nights at Freddy's or something would actually make sense in VR. Because it's about sitting
that would do really well in VR.
Controlled, you're sitting there, like, looking at video screens. Like, okay, that's kind of what VR is about, But, I mean, people, like, stuff like, what's it called? Elite Dangerous, and stuff. It's like, you're in a cockpit, sitting there, looking around. It's like... the game is what the experience of using VR is about, and that's cool, and obviously it resonates with people.
All right. And our last question we have here. You answered this a little bit earlier, but I think it'd be good to have a concrete list, I suppose, for almost like a reading list, I guess, for people that are into these games. What were your direct influences for movies, books, TV, etc., on Gone Home and Tacoma?
This was actually my question, because hearing like Tacoma described in some ways, was it the space station is helped put together, or the shuttles you're brought there from like Virgin, and the Virgin, I can't think of the other companies, like conglomerate combined. Yeah, stuff like that reminded me a lot of 2001, where you would see like Pan Am on the side of a space shuttle. And just sort of that vision of the future, and oftentimes like culture and often influences real life and vice versa. So I was wondering if, specifically when making Tacoma or even Gone Home, if something like, a 2001, you saw that and you were like, yeah, that's okay. That would be a cool thing for a that's spot on for future space exploration, or if it was just this is what you think that space will be like.
Yeah. No, stuff like having the real companies in 2001 was definitely a big point of reference for us, because I feel like in Gone Home and in Tacoma, it was really important for us to put in as many like real world things in them as we possibly could. It's like
touchstones.
The X-Files.
Yeah, like the X-Files, or like Street Fighter, or like, Super Nintendo, or, Nirvana, or whatever we want to refer to, and be like, oh, right, this takes place in the actual world that we live in. And these people, these characters exist surrounded by things that, I'm also surrounded by. And so something like 2001, I think that you can't, if you're making speculative fiction, if you're making like kind of near future fiction, you really can't escape the fact that it's going to be a reflection of the time that you made it in.
Yeah.
And, I think that it's awesome when you watch 2001 and you're like, okay, this is the future this is a very like 1969 future. This is a future where the USSR still exists, and Hilton is the hotel on the space station, and Pan Am is the is running the space flights, and it's not accurate to today, but it's much more interesting as an artifact of when it was made and what the world that gave rise to that picture of the future was, than if it had all been just like, we made up a bunch of fake space companies. And like I would much rather see, like, when you watch Blade Runner now, and it's like, oh, there's like Atari and like Bell Telephone and all this kind of stuff. It's like, okay, none of those companies are actually really like at the forefront of our culture now either, but it's much cooler seeing, oh yeah, this was a 1982 vision of what we might what the world that we live in the future might be like, versus just like a genericized, there's future stuff here kind of world. I think that really has a lot of impact. I like it anyway.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that ought to do it. Cool. Thanks so much for being on.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
That's
awesome.
Yeah, well, thanks again for being such great fans of the game.
Sure.
And inviting me to spend some time.
Any plugs you want to list off before you get going?
Any release dates you wanna drop?
any breaking news?
Sure,
exactly.
we'll take it all.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we've been really, really fortunate to have a bunch of good coverage about Tacoma lately. So if you're interested in finding out more of the game, check your local video game website, or you can go to the TacomaGame.com, and there's links to our company page and the company blog, and you can sign up for our newsletter and stuff like that, and just kind of keep up with what we're putting out there.
All right, yeah, we'll put links to that and your Twitter too in the post. And thanks so much for stopping by, Lauren and Michael. When we're let's pause our recording. Steve, you stop yours, and then you can get going.
Sure.
And then
Yeah.
We'll take a quick break and get right back to the game coverage after this. All right, folks, thanks for waiting on us. Steve had to leave, but it was good talking to him, about all that stuff. I'm really looking forward to Tacoma, but now that he's gone, we can talk about dumb shit.
Yeah!
Oh my god.
Yeah, we don't have to do the full, rigmarole of talking about what we've been playing, I guess. I mean, I don't want this to be too long of a show.
I've actually been playing something lately.
Have you been?
Yeah, I know, right? I made some friends who play a lot of Endless Space, so I've been getting back into that.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about some games. That's okay. Let's do a
on
little
this video
bit.
game podcast.
Yeah, please.
That's weird.
Just a little bit.
You can't talk about games on a video game
out of-
podcast. What are you going to be doing? Goofing off the whole time?
We just have to talk about 2001: A Space Odyssey and Ghosts, and that's it.
Sure.
Okay, yeah. Go make every podcast real.
All right. But no, Lauren, if you want to talk about whatever that is.
Oh, okay.
Whatever.
Now I'm not even sure I want to talk about it.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move on.
Okay. No. So it's kind of like it's a space strategy game.
Sure.
Endless Space. Mm-hmm. It's done by Amplitude Studios, who are also known for Dungeon of the Endless and Endless Legends. But
is space actually endless in the game?
No.
Damn it.
Space is a galaxy. However, there was a as in like so many other space games, there's kind of like a precursor faction. Right? So there's like there's the Endless. They were a race that, mastered the galaxy before
Sure, yeah.
Before the game races ever occurred, and they're long gone.
The Forerunners.
But they left behind artifacts. And so among them is this stuff called dust. So they're essentially like little they're like nanomachines that the factions all use as money.
Okay.
So like they just like the Endless have like long since turned to dust, as it were. And so like actual surviving like technology of theirs that isn't just like nanomachines is kind of rare. But as you go through the game's tech tree, you kind of like reclaim lost knowledge and stuff like that. I mostly like it though because it's good space strategy.
All right.
You don't know like you can play like Galactic Civilizations, or you can like dig up your old copy of Master Orion too, but it's hard to get. I won't call it new because it's not, but you don't. New space strategy faces on the block are nice.
Sure. So
I've been playing them.
All right.
I don't have games to play with friends.
It's okay. Well, you've been playing Destiny with people, haven't you been?
Yeah, I have been. I need to actually play another couple games with AV. I actually played some with her.
Nice.
Yeah, I was helping her get geared. She's a lot of fun to play Destiny with.
Cool. Yeah, you should just play a bunch of Destiny with all kinds of games people, and that'll be our in, is Lauren playing Destiny.
Yo, if anyone wants to play Destiny with me, hit me up on Tumblr or Twitter.
Yeah, there you go. Lauren will just get you all the goods, and you'll be set.
Yeah, I can hook you guys up. I want some people to run Nightfall with. Hit me up.
But have you been playing anything else?
I think I modded up a copy of Skyrim and then was like, oh right, this is Skyrim. Yeah, that's
okay.
it.
That's fine.
I haven't even been playing much Destiny lately.
How's that?
Yeah.
Are you okay, Lauren?
I don't know.
All right. Well, you could always talk to us if there's something up.
I know. It's just I've been doing a lot of stuff trying to get stuff moved.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've been reading a lot, I guess, but I haven't been able to play many games.
Read anything interesting lately?
Just criticism of Gamergate and discussions of how to apply Gotha's 3 questions to game writing apply.
I guess.
I haven't really read anything listeners will want to know.
Okay. So Michael.
Hi.
Have you been playing anything cool?
You're not going to ask me how I've been? You're just going to jump to the video games?
God, no! Fuck you!
No, I'm going to how are you? You okay?
Michael, you're not important enough.
Everything all right?
You're not important enough. Just tell us.
Look, Michael,
just get straight to facts.
Michael,
show me your video games.
Michael.
What?
We'll find out how okay you are by
video games or GTFO.
Yeah, no. We'll find out how well you are by the games you've been playing.
Okay.
Balls or GTFO?
Fine. I was playing some Rare Replay and some Sonic Dreams Collection, but I've been weeping so much it's hard to do it.
Okay. Is it because of Sonic Dreams Collection? Because I can understand if it is.
God, yeah. Jeez, that game Sonic Dreams Collection.
Good Sonic, bad Sonic?
Say what?
Good Sonic, bad Sonic?
Sonic, it's there. We have a video up of it, actually, about a 30-minute video Ryan and I did.
Don't spoil it. I think people need to go in there and just go for it.
Yeah.
If they haven't seen what Sonic Dreams Collection is already, I think Ryan and Michael's video is the best introduction to it.
Yeah, we don't delve into. There's some secrets that we didn't know about and or get to. But you can go to the site and click on the video tab, and it's the very first thing. It's the latest video. It's a in air quotes unreleased series of Sonic games. The first one is like a Sonic poser. Like you can pose Sonic. You can make his limbs change and his color change, and you can take photos. You can tweet him out. You can throw rings at him. The second one is an MMO, which when you click on it just says no network connection, which apparently there's a way out of that. So
yeah, I think you have to save the image of your posed Sonic, and then that lets you sign into it.
Yeah, there's some way in like the files to do it. The third one, we didn't finish all of them. There's 4 games total. The fourth one kind of bugged out on us. We didn't finish it. So if you want to see the rest of it, you'll have to do that on your own. But the third one is a movie maker, and boy, does that go places. Mm-hmm. I'll just tell, like, the first one is just Sonic, like, writhing around on the ground. That's all Sonic does, is he writhes around on the ground, and you have to go up and film him for 6 seconds. And when you're done, you can leave the level and go to the next one. And you can tweet out your little videos. I tweeted out a couple. One actually made quite a few retweets around the internets. And then it just keeps going. And it gets bad. You should watch the video. It's only 30 minutes.
They played all the way through the third game, and are terrified because of it.
Yeah, it's I don't want to play that game again. That game it should be played, but it's crazy. And yeah, that's just go watch that video. I'm not going to talk too much about it and spoil Sonic Dreams Collection too much. It's from the same guys who did Bubsy 3D, so that should give you kind of an idea of what you're getting into.
Bubsy 3D game that got put out on the internet a little while ago. It's not the actual Bubsy 3D.
No, yeah, it's something else, completely different. And I've also been playing quite a lot of Rare Replay.
Yeah, you put up your review of that on the site, and not only that, but you ranked all 30 games.
Yep.
Which is
all 30 in the thing. I really like Rare Replay. Mm-hmm. It's more than the sum of its parts. Like, it has a great little I just call it a wrapper in the review. It just has a great little thing that surrounds it. The way it's presented isn't like, I don't know, here's 30 games. It's presented sort of like a theater, and each game gets its own little poster, and you can kind of run through. Each game has its own milestones, so the more you play it, the more you get rewarded, and you get stamps. And those stamps kind of level you up, and the higher level you are, the more behind-the-scenes stuff you can unlock, which is probably a terrible shame that some of that stuff is locked at some of these higher levels.
Yeah, like, I've seen that the most interesting things are locked behind, like, almost, I think you have to get all the stamps to see all of the unreleased games that they worked on.
No, you have to get if you got every stamps, like, I think the level is 30, then you get all the unreleased music. But underneath that is all the unreleased game images, which it's out there. I think somebody's already kind of taken a lot of that stuff either out of the game or somehow gotten snapshots of it all. But it is some high levels that are locked. Like, I've played a lot of every game and gotten quite a lot of stamps, at least I think so. Not quite 100, probably like 75 stamps, closer to 80. And I'm like level 12, and I have all the featurettes and all the behind the scenes unlocked, and I have none of the unreleased stuff unlocked. I have to go through, I think, a bunch of concept art. I have to unlock that. So it's kind of a shame that all that is behind such high walls. Because I imagine most people are going to play, Banjo-Kazooie and Viva Pinata and maybe dabble in some of the older stuff and maybe not quite dive into it. which is kind of why I did the ranking thing, so that hopefully people can go check out Jetpack or A Tick Attack or Gunfight, because those are some really cool, some really interesting games that really only came out on the ZX Spectrum, which was really popular in Europe. In games like Battletoads Arcade, which I actually liked. I actually liked a Battletoads game.
Yeah!
Ugh, I hate myself. I beat it.
Good shit.
That, I think that's the first time that is been available on a home console.
Probably. I mean, yeah, it's an arcade game.
Yeah, I looked it up on a couple wikis, and it just said arcade. So that's the first time you've been able to play that and not have to go into a place that smells like sweat. So that's a pretty good thing, unless your room smells like sweat. But I've turn on a fan, light a candle. But I've been enjoying it. Like, I'm still playing around with Banjo-Kazooie and still boot up, Jetpack or A Tick Attack. There are also playlists and snapshots. And the snapshots are about 5 challenges for all the older games. It stops at the original Battletoads. It's the last game you can play a snapshot of. You can't play snapshot in Banjo-Kazooie. I think basically because those games already existed, they didn't want to go create these little challenges. But they're just like little. Some of them are more simple than others. Jetpack is a pretty simple game. Like, it's the oldest game in the collection, but some of the stuff in there was a little frustrating. Took me about half an hour for some of those snapshots, and those will earn you additional stamps. So for a typical game, you can earn about 10 stamps, which isn't bad. And then some of the stamps and some of the snapshots and some of the milestones all have achievements locked to them. Then there are playlists, which will give you 5 of those snapshots to beat in a row, and you have only 3 chances to die in total. So if you beat that, you get additional stamps as well. So I think that's where a lot of them are unlocked. But yeah, I have over 1,000 achievements in that.
Shit.
And that's not including the 360 stuff. So if you have an Xbox One already, I'd say it's a no-brainer. Just get it. It's $30. It's there's some small problems with it. If when you are in an Xbox 360 game, you can hold down Start and go back to Rare Replay, which you can do with all the others as well. But as soon as you do it, it will occasionally not know that it's me, and will say "You're player," and will erase all my stamp progress. Jeez. So I have to quit Rare Replay and relaunch it, and then it'll have it.
That sucks.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's a me thing or if that's a Rare Replay thing. And then some of the older games just don't run well. I think it's Saber Wolf. I think that's what it's called. It's an isometric game where you turn into a werewolf every night. It's either Saber Wolf or it's something like that. And it was one of the first isometric games, one of the first games that kind of looked 3D. It has a real historic significance. But man, does that game slow down quite a lot.
Oh.
A lot. Which I just imagine is a problem with the original game and not a problem with... I can't imagine it's running on an Xbox One and has slowdown. So maybe that's the emulator they use, or maybe that's just the original hardware. I'd never played the game before. So, but overall, it's a fun little package. There's a lot of nostalgia, but there's a lot of cool stuff in here. Mm-hmm. So I've been having fun with it.
Anything else you've been playing,
or? Does time clickers count?
God, no.
I've been playing a lot of time clickers.
Oh, no.
I gotta click the cubes.
Man, forget time clickers. Why aren't you guys playing Sakura
You
clicker?
read the fucking article. No.
You don't want to click some cute girls?
No.
Have them, shout in ecstasy as your pointer rubs them in all the right places?
No.
Look, Lauren.
While defeating them?
Lauren,
It's like reverse Monmasu.
Lauren, I've already accepted that I'm not going to be making women cry out in ecstasy anytime soon. So.
Oh, so Minman. Okay, I mean, I'm sure I can find you some.
Michael.
Yeah.
Are you going to talk about the clicker game?
John, what are you scared of?
Myself.
So what you're saying is that you're You're scared of yourself. You're cowardly in a way.
Yes, Lauren. Yes, I am. You're right.
Oh, I mean, I guess. Never mind then.
Michael, what are you going to talk about the click?
You click stuff, and stuff explodes, and then you collect stuff, and then you make your click more powerful.
I'm sorry.
Nice. Good clicks.
I've also been reading as well, but I have not been reading Gamergate critique.
Yeah, no, it's...
Yeah, I've been reading through some Stephen King books that I read when I was a kid. The Dark Tower series that I never finished. So it's been nice to go back and like reread stuff that I did as a kid or as a high school kid.
Yeah.
And I never finished all 7 books. I know there's 8 now. So I would like to at least finish the 7. And I did the same thing last summer. At the beginning of last summer, I just sat down and read in like a month or a month and a half, read all 5 Game of Thrones books. So just trying to burn through those.
Yeah.
But that's been about it. It's like good to get away from video games and the internet for even a couple hours.
Yeah.
Yep. John, what have you been playing?
What have I been playing?
Time clickers?
No. I've just been waiting on my Danganronpa Despair Girls code. It can't come fast enough. I'm dying, everyone. I just wanted
You hear this, Nisa? If you don't want John's poor innocent blood on your hands, you better send us that code.
I'm dying. Please save me.
Nah, you got yourself into this mess.
I did. I did. This is my own this is my own damn fault.
Yes.
And I'm gonna lay in my grave now.
Yay.
But there was a game I played. I was playing it last week, but I finished it. I played all the way through Infamous Second Son.
Nice.
That's a very good game. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It's not super long. It's shorter than the other 2, but it tells its story the way I think it like needs to.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I really dug what they were going for. There were a couple moments where it was a little too on the nose in the like how X-Men is supposed to be like an allegory for homosexuality. I feel like Second Son was kind of trying to do a bit of everything in that there were parts where it was like, oh, this is kind of supposed to be a homosexuality thing, but then there were also moments where it was, okay, this is also about Native Americans because Delson, the main character, is a Native American, and he's specifically going to fight off the like hell. It's very much an allegory to reservations and stuff like that because the main character or the main villain is rounding up the I think they're called conduits and putting them in like I guess like prison camps, which could very much be an allegory to reservations, and she tries to make arguments for, I'm doing this for the good of everybody, I'm doing this for the conduits too, when, you know, they should just, you know, be integrated into society like everybody else, and it's very much that. But, I mean, for every moment that's on the nose, there's 2 moments that are well done, and you have to think about it, and it's not just, hey guys, we fucked up.
That kind of sounds like the original ones, where it's like, okay, I get what you're going for.
Yeah.
Good for you.
And yeah, I definitely agree with the message though, and it's still so much fun to mess around with the powers. Some of the powers are better than others. I ended up just liking Neon more than anything because Neon felt better to traverse with.
Mm-hmm.
You have 3 powers. You have the smoke power, which is the one you start with. You have Neon and video, and video is kind of just like it's TV and video game stuff. The character that you get video from is just he is just a nerd, and that's all it is, and it's really boring. Like, I don't know, I'm so bored with the standard, like, D&D nerd character, not because it's, like, an offensive thing, because obviously it's, you know, like, who fucking cares, but it's just such a boring thing. You see it all the time, and it's such a boring story thing, like, man.
It's too cliche. Like,
it's so cliche,
we get it. Like, Yep, he's a nerd.
Yeah, he's kind of weird. He's too into this video game. All right. Like, I don't know.
It's too easy.
Yeah, it is too easy. It's too especially when it's in a video game too, you know? Like, come on. Like, you should be happy that people are getting into your game. Like, obviously not in an unhealthy sense, but it still feels a little degrading when you're playing this game and then it's like, oh, this guy got too into the video game. Be careful, everybody. Like, just, like, fucking let me play this game. Leave me alone. It's not like this game's an MMO. Like, this is weird. Let me play the game. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, I had a real good time with it. I definitely recommend it if you have a PS4. I gotta play First Light, which I can.
Oh.
Because that was on PS Plus. But I couldn't do Second Son. That wasn't on PS Plus, so I just played Mike's copy of it. But, you know, now I can play that. I don't think I got to talk about the Ride the Lightning on here, did I not? I should do that now. Yeah, we should do that really quick. I was on a stream with Kazamano.
Oh, God.
All night.
I thought you meant, like, Final Fantasy Ride the Lightning or something. Oh, shit.
No.
That stupid thing.
Yeah, so Mike and I were like, all right, we're gonna go pick up those new amiibos.
I like how you say it, like almost you would talk about drugs. Like, oh, you're going to pick up? You're going to pick up, man. Yeah, I'm going to pick up. You want any? 60?
Well, gotta fill your prescription.
Let me be honest.
Amiibos
this wasn't my
drugs.
idea. This wasn't my idea at all. Kazamano was like, this is the only way we're going to be able to get these, and we have to do this. And I was like, if you think so, dude, if you really think there's no other way that this is going to happen, then sure, whatever, I'll do the stream. And we stayed up until 4 a.m. on the stream, which it's archived on Mike's Twitch. I think he has all the video and stuff saved too. I don't know if he's ever going to put it up anywhere, but it's on his Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/Mike Kazamano. I don't know how long
it's linked in the story. There are each video is like an hour to about 2 hours, depending on the section.
Okay. But yeah, we played a lot of video games.
A lot of bad video games.
I played Omega Quintet for an extended amount of time.
That was terrible.
It was fucked up.
You lost like
really
half of your viewers.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I gotta show this off. I want to show everybody how terrible this is.
And then everybody left.
And I don't blame them.
Oh my god, how many viewers did you have at peak?
15.
Yeah.
Oh,
not a
not
shit
bad.
ton, but you know, it was something. It was a start.
I wonder if I should stream myself playing Destiny.
If you wanna, sure. Well, I mean, if it's something that you want to do on a regular basis, that's something we could put on the site.
I mean, I can do it. I have some other streamer friends I can like contact and get endorsements with too. So
Sure. But yeah, we just so we left the apartment at 4 a.m. and we went to the GameStop and we stood in line until 9 a.m. I almost passed out at like 8:30. Like I straight up like almost fainted. I had to lay on the ground for the last half an hour of that because I thought I was gonna die.
Who else was in that line?
There were other people. Another dude showed up with us at 4 a.m. But the other people didn't start showing up until I want to say 7.
So you could have waited. You could have actually slept and just woken up early.
We definitely could have.
Great.
But we thought that there was going to be more people there. Mm-hmm. And they weren't. So we paid for our amiibos. We pre-ordered them. I paid for them in full. I'm getting one. I'm not going to fuck around with that. But a couple days later, they went up on GameStop's site, and I am like pretty sure they're still available. Let me check right now.
Are they? Because I could order. I'm going to order them right now if that's true.
They're nice amiibos. It's the Duck Hunt, the Rob, and the Game & Watch amiibos. And, you know, I didn't want to fuck around with Duck Hunt. Like, that's my main in Smash. I didn't want to, you know, miss out on that. But
you can get them right now.
yeah. As of this recording right now, they're available
online only. Add to cart.
So fuck me.
That's great.
Yeah,
it was still a good stream. Well,
it was a fun stream. Oh shit! You can get Silver Mario on GameStop.com right now. Fuck, that's kind of interesting.
I saw Silver Mario in a Target the other week.
Yeah.
And then I looked it up on Amazon thinking it was rare, and it wasn't. I was like, okay.
Yeah, some of these aren't rare. But no, yeah, these it was a fun stream. I would do the stream part again. I would not do the standing in line part again. I would be fine with getting up early. I would not be fine with staying up for however long, because I woke up at like 11 that day, so I was awake until like almost 24 hours. If I had stayed up another 2 hours, it would have been 24 hours. And my body is not good for that, you know. Yeah, I definitely recommend checking out the stream. But let's move on to news.
There's
not a lot of news. So we can, once we're done with news, we'll be done. This is a nice, quick episode. You know, it's refreshing, I suppose, compared to last week's episode, because holy shit, that was long. But let's see here. First up, let's start off with something a little smaller here. I think we might have mentioned this previously about the PlayStation Plus voting thing, but let's just mention it again. If you have a PlayStation Plus account, you can go onto Sony's website onto Vote to Play and vote from. It's not a monthly thing that you can do, but it's something that Sony will bring up every once in a while. And one of three games will be the free game on PS Plus for PS4, and the other two games will be discounted. So the three games this time around are Mellow, Grow Home, and Zombie Vikings.
Whoa. That's not the best of selections.
Yeah.
I mean, Grow Home is the obvious choice, but man.
Yeah.
I'm really interested in Grow Home. I have heard nothing but great things about that game. So I really hope people vote for that. Because I want to play that game really bad.
I don't even know what the other two are. I think I've heard of Mellow.
Armello.
Armello Anthony?
No.
Okay.
But yeah, please vote for Grow Home for me. Because I want to play it. But yeah, it runs for 11 days, so from August 13th, which is the day we're recording this, so from now until August 24th is how long you have to vote, and then the winning game will be in September's lineup. And like I said, the other two will be on a discount, so you can still buy the other two, so you won't miss out.
I wonder how they put that deal together, like.
I'm sure they just asked, you know, maybe they just had these games in a lineup already. Like, who knows? Maybe Zombie Vikings and Armello might be free another month later on.
Yeah,
you know, they might just be available later. So, you know, maybe don't buy them. I don't know. I can't predict the future. Figure it out yourself.
Can you predict the future, John?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
So, to continue on with the Sony news, the next PS4 firmware may have been leaked. Or at least what's on it. Some people in Japan who I guess are in the beta have received 3.0 and have said that the following will be added to the PS4. And it is just user interface enhancements, YouTube broadcasting, which lines up with the YouTube gaming app and all that stuff, and exporting of 10-second clips to Twitter.
Huh. I want this kind of plays into the weird way PlayStation treats its updates, its firmware updates.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, Xbox just announces them and makes them a big deal, and then lets the preview program kind of give you any later details. Whereas PlayStation just kind of is real secretive. It feels like with their updates, like they sometimes just come out and there's no real heads up. And of course, they've had problems in the past where they brick, or at least the PS3 would have that problem a lot,
Yeah, I remember that. The PS4 bricked a while back. I remember that.
Yeah, so it's just strange that they still operate this way and still allow their firmware to be this strange thing. And that's what happens when you give people beta access. Of course, they're going to leak what's coming.
Yeah,
but that's still cool stuff. YouTube gaming is supposed to be really nice.
Yeah, so. I went to the event for that at the YouTube space, and it seems like the next logical step for this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
like I'm more interested in YouTube streaming than Twitch streaming for the future, at least. Just the way that app is set up and the way that it's integrated into YouTube and uploading those videos, it seems much easier than
Twitch.
Fucking around with Twitch, yeah. So the other things that are going to be on this this firmware update are an events menu, which I guess is where you can watch press conferences from Sony or stuff like that.
Okay, that's something Xbox has.
Yeah, and a community feature that lets you create communities or join existing ones, which I'm guessing will be like Steam groups or something like that.
Or maybe like Wii U.
Maybe.
Like
I don't know.
that kind of thing.
I'm thinking this might be more like Steam groups than Miiverse communities.
Yeah.
We'll see. There's not that much information about those two. So, yeah. Next up, I don't know too much about this, so I'll just give the bare bones read off of it. But Oculus and ZeniMax are in a legal dispute right now, and I think Oculus tried to get it thrown out, and they're not. The judge declined that, so the case will proceed.
Oh, really? That's surprising.
So to explain, from what I understand, what is going on, was it
something about access to Carmack's labor because of the contract, right?
It was what it was John Carmack supposedly, or what ZeniMax is saying. John Carmack took some code that belongs to ZeniMax and brought it over to Oculus, and they integrated it into Oculus.
He's not that stupid.
So that's what ZeniMax is saying. It's about stolen trade secrets. But
I mean, do we know what the code in question is?
Well, no.
Like, what it probably is that they are. If I had to take a guess, I would say that when ZeniMax was still considering like buying some Oculus crap,
sure.
Carmack probably wrote some code for them, and then ZeniMax still considers it theirs, even though they don't have any chance to use it.
Maybe.
I mean, ZeniMax is one of the most litigious game companies I can think of.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I don't know a lot about this stuff. But at the end of this, if ZeniMax wins, they can get a pretty big stake in Oculus' stock, and Oculus will have to pay out some money to ZeniMax as well. So
yeah, like I'm pretty sure they're just trying to sue some extra money.
Yeah, who knows? We'll see, because this could go into an actual case next year if there isn't a settlement or anything of the sort.
Or if Time Magazine doesn't dismantle Oculus before then.
Yeah. And final bit of news. Like I said, this is a short week because Gamescom was last week, so everyone's saving their shit.
Gamescom had a lot of big stories. I was surprised.
Yeah,
it was mostly like PC stories and like space games, but
I mean, for you just talked about fucking Killer Instinct and shit.
Yeah, I know.
Oh god, you guys skipped over the big Crackdown story, I assume.
No, I think we talked about Crackdown.
Okay. The way it streams cloud
we
stuff.
Talked about
okay.
That.
Yeah.
That to me was the biggest story.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like, because that's how the Xbox One was originally designed, and that supposedly that's how every game was going to work. So, and now they have to tie it to multiplayer. It'll be interesting to see how if Crackdown can really make that something special.
Mm-hmm. Well, our last bit of news for this week is that we mentioned this before, but there was some talk of a Resident Evil 2 remake at Capcom, and it's officially happening. On their YouTube channel, the video was posted that was saying, hey, thanks for the support, and thanks for posting all this stuff on Facebook and Twitter. So now we're going to make it. So I don't know when it's coming out, because I think, they still have to put out the Resident Evil 0 remake that's supposed to be next year. I would say this will probably come out in, 2017 or even 2018, because they have to do a lot of work on Resident Evil 2 to make it viable today. But, who knows? We'll see how long this takes. Because, hell, maybe they've been working on this for longer than we know, and this is just them saying, oh, this is for the fans. You asked for it. So we'll see.
Yeah, they teased that the other, a couple weeks ago. So I wonder if it's more long than they're letting on.
All right, well, that ought to do it for news. We don't have any questions because those are all for Steve. So that ought to do it for this episode. Our next week's guest is a bit up in the air. We will share that once we get everything nailed down. And also, admittedly, I don't know if we're going to have a guest for the last week because it's the weekend of PAX, and that's really tricky. But I'm going to try my damnedest.
See you guys. Ghost confirmed for Tacoma.
I'm not done yet. Calm down. We have a lot. We have a lot of editorial on the site, a lot of it, and we also have those videos. So go onto YouTube, Video Game Choo Choo.
Yep. If you just search for Video Game Choo Choo, it should be the first video that comes up. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So subscribe, like, I don't know, whatever they say on YouTube.
Yeah. So like, fave, subscribe, all that shit. And, tell us some things that you want us to do. I mean, I know we can do, PC games and stuff, so we'll focus on that until, one of us gets a capture card or something. And, we have reviews up. Ryan put up a review for Centris. Michael's got his Rare Replay review and list.
Niall put up his review.
Niall's Lost Dimension review. He talked about the game a bit a couple weeks ago. What else? I can't remember. We have so much shit on the site now. We have so much stuff that I can't even remember everything. So please go check it out. And thanks for supporting us. All right. See you later.